Hello, everybody. Welcome to Broadway.com's Live at 5. It is Monday, February 3rd. I'm Beth Stevens.
I'm Paul Wontorek.
And we have a different face over here, Ryan Lee Gilbert.
Hello, guys. What am I doing in this
Same
seat?
face.
Same face,
Different chair.
spot.
Yeah,
That's right. That's right.
Right. And we have a very special guest
Hey,
today.
someone you know really well is here today.
Someone I know really well is here today, which we will talk about. Julianne Boyd of Barrington Stage Company is here.
Fantastic
I think we need a round of applause.
Sure.
Woo!
We're into it.
One of my mentors.
They ain't misbehaving up there in the Berkshire.
Look at you go. Look at you go. We will talk to Julie soon, but first our top 5.
The room where it happens is going to be your local movie theater.
This is really interesting. So we've seen filmed versions of Broadway shows in movie theaters before, but this Hamilton, the original cast of Hamilton, is coming to movie theaters everywhere in, there's an exact release date, October 15th, 2021. So that's so Hollywood movies can all avoid that date. This is going to be really interesting.
The Hamill film.
So they I saw that hashtag.
Did you?
So
Good. I'm glad.
Enough of the Hamill tags.
I love it.
So here's the thing. Tommy Kail, they filmed it with the original cast. We knew they had filmed it. We didn't really know what they were going to do with it. I don't know if they knew what they were going to do with it, but they sold it to Disney for a huge amount of money. Apparently, it was a big bidding war to figure out who's going to get it. And they're putting it in movie theaters as a big theatrical release. I believe this might be a first. You know, we've seen like Fathom events of Broadway shows, but to actually release it as a movie, which I think is what's happening. So all of those original Broadway stars, I don't have to name them. There's too many to name. You know them all, including, of course, Lin-Manuel Miranda, who will also see his In the Heights film come out this summer. So this summer we get In the Heights.
Can't wait.
Next year we get Hamilton. It's so insane. I love it. Of course, it's still playing on Broadway. It's playing in London, and it'll also open in Australia in 2021. This is super exciting. I can't wait to see. Everyone wanted to see the original cast. They spent a lot of money to see the original cast. They're still spending a lot of money to see the current cast, which is phenomenal. But everyone's going to get to see these performances preserved.
That's right.
And a new summoning charm is happening at Broadway's Lyric Theater.
Ooh, that was very magical, Ryan.
Thank you.
Original cast member Paul Thornley is coming back
Cool.
to Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. Matt Mueller currently plays the role. Paul will come back on March 5th. Oh, I'm sorry. Matt will play his final bow on March 15th, and then on March 18th, Paul will come back, along with some new faces. Brady Dalton Richards will play Scorpius Malfoy. Good role. And a lot of people. There's a lot of casting changes.
Is James Snyder staying?
Yes.
Okay, good.
James Snyder is staying. Diane Davis is staying as Ginny Potter, and Jenny Jules is staying as Hermione Granger. So Harry Potter continues to wow the audiences over there.
A legendary Oscar-winning filmmaker has chosen his next Broadway-sized big project.
So I'm only reporting films based on Broadway shows.
Good job.
Because Spike Lee
Yes.
is doing the same for American Utopia, David Byrne's concert film, which concert film. It
will
be.
be. It will
But
be.
Right now it's a concert on Broadway,
Experience,
a theatrical concert. Participant, which is a big media company, is producing this. And again, we don't really know what the rollout of this will be. It could end up, on Netflix. It could end up as a limited thing. Who knows? Or maybe it'll open the same day as Hamilton. They'll just duke it out in movie theaters.
Double feature.
Yeah. So anyway, of course, you know who Spike Lee is. He finally won an Academy Award for BlacKkKlansman for writing it, and he's also a very talented film director. And he's also done work. Didn't he work with Mike Tyson on Broadway? I mean,
he did, yeah.
Very briefly.
He's flirted with Broadway before. He's been around. He goes to a lot of openings. He likes the theater world, and he will be capturing this David Byrne concert, which is so much fun live at the Hudson Theater, and I'm sure it's going to be pretty great on screen too.
This news has us feeling downright gleeful and ready to rock.
That's true. So we're talking about Rock of Ages off-Broadway. Dot Marie Jones, who's an Emmy nominee for Glee, and whose name must have come from Sunday in the Park with George, am I wrong? Is going to join...
I never thought of that before.
Dot Marie I'm sorry, I digress. She's going to join as Dennis Dupre, I don't know, from the bar owner, the big bar owner in Rock of Ages. She's going to do it from February 24th through April 19th, stepping in for Matt Bann, who will take a leave from the production on April 20th. Exciting.
I'm into it.
Big voice.
I hope
Good
she
stuff.
comes here live at
Yeah,
5.
yeah.
Dot Marie. Explain your name.
And this Broadway story, some would call it unstoppable.
This was cute. So John Baleman of Tootsie,
Yes.
fantastic in Tootsie, he got engaged to L.J. Wright, who is a Broadway dresser he met while working on Tootsie.
I love it.
How cute is that? They met in 2018 while the show was in Chicago, right? The pre-Broadway run. And they're engaged, and they put up adorable photos on social media, as you do. And I just think it's great.
That's great.
Backstage, some showmance.
Showmancy.
But not his dresser. I don't. No, I think he was dressing Santino. She was dressing Santino.
okay.
In the yeah. Anyway, and she's worked on a lot of Broadway productions. So congrats, guys. Also on the site, well, Bob and Carol and Ted and Alice.
And Bob and Carol. and Ted.
That musical's opening this week.
That's correct.
And Michael Appler did a feature.
He did. He talked to Duncan Sheik and Amanda Green and Jonathan Mark Sherman, who wrote the piece based on the 1969 movie.
I grew up obsessed with Jonathan Mark Sherman because of the
I
Young
know.
Playwrights Festival.
I know.
Okay, you
yeah,
get me.
I got
We're the
it.
same
I'm
age.
with you. Yeah. So that's a great fun piece. And also, we're kicking off Black History Month. And we've asked theater artists to tell us which Black theater artist has inspired them. And we started with Adrienne Warren,
It's a good place to start.
who saluted George C. Wolfe, who she worked with on Shuffle Along, the longest title ever on a Broadway stage. And so it's a
You didn't
really,
make it
it's a
sound long,
lovely.
but the
I didn't do
actual
the whole
title
thing.
is
Shuffle
long.
Along
Actual
or the making. I don't know. I'm sure Julie knows. So anyway, she knows all about EUBIE.
And there's also an exclusive listen of the Laura Linney
Audiobook
version.
of My Name is Lucy Barton.
Right.
Also
So
a long title.
If you want to just watch it, listen to it from home, you can see it. It's a lot of options. You can read the books. There's all kinds of things you can do.
There's a lot to do. There's
Yeah.
a lot to do. Anyway, Paul, thank you for your service.
I hope you find out what's happening up at Barrington Stage.
I'm going to
this
do my
summer.
best. I'm going to do my best. So, Ryan,
Yes.
tell us all about our guest, please.
I would love to. Guys, Julianne Boyd is the artistic director of Barrington Stage Company, which she co-founded and where she has directed acclaimed productions of West Side Story, The Glass Menagerie, Company, Cabaret, Sweeney Todd, and Follies, among many others. She conceived and directed the Broadway musical revue EUBIE, which earned 3 Tony Award nominations. And this summer, Boyd is directing a new production of Rodgers and Hammerstein's South Pacific. Very exciting. At BSC in downtown Pittsfield, Massachusetts. Be sure to leave all your questions in the comments below, and please welcome Julianne and Beth.
Thank you, Ryan.
Hi, Beth.
Hi, Julie. This is weird, you guys. I'm going to give you full disclosure,
Yes.
and then we'll talk. I worked at Barrington Stage Company. What year are you in now?
26th year.
26th year in the Berkshires. I worked for Barrington Stage Company in their 3rd year.
And she was just a child.
a child.
Just a child, really.
Publicity director back
Yes.
then. It was my first job ever in the theater. The first time I ever got paid for doing anything in the theater. So thank you for that, Jules.
Oh, my pleasure. And look what's happened.
Look what's
I'm so
happened.
exciting.
Now we're
It's
here.
Fabulous.
So now in its 26th year, you've got a great lineup for the summer.
you.
Tell me what's going on.
Well, we're starting with South Pacific, as Ryan said, and we go on to Richie Greenberg's Assembled Parties, main stage. I don't know if you know that. Do you know that
I
play?
saw it at Manhattan
So-
Theater Club, I
it's a
think. Richard
fabulous
Greenberg play.
Yeah, just a really, really great play. Really hasn't had many regional productions, but I think it's a really, really strong play, and deals with a Jewish American family, a well-to-do family, in 1980, and then in the year 2000. They start in like a 14-room apartment on Central Park West. Things change by the year 2000. It's sort of, I think Richard Greenberg is saying, how do we all adjust to changing times? Very humorously and very touchingly.
And then
And then Camille A. Brown.
Camille
Hot,
A. Brown,
hot
Tony
Camille.
nominee, who's
Yes.
doing everything
Fabulous.
everywhere.
She's going to direct and choreograph a production of Ain't Misbehavin', and she is adding, the 5 actors. She's adding 5 dancers.
Good.
Got Richard Maltby's permission to do so, and it's starting at Westport Country Playhouse. It's going to start there, and this is going to come to us. We're really excited about it because it's such fabulous music. I mean, the Fats Waller music is so great, and to see someone of Camille's talent, if you've seen, but not only like what she did with Choir Boy, but her choreography is so exciting, and she's going to place it. I think instead of a cotton club for a white audience, it's going to take place in a juke joint for a black audience, as if it were a black audience, which I think is really, I mean, that's the heart and soul of Fats Waller's music when you think about it. I think Camille would be great doing it. So I'm really excited about that. And then on our stage 2, we're doing The Great Leap. It's being done in a lot of places. Lauren Yee's work. I think she's like the most popular
Yes,
playwright
like one of the
being
most
done now.
produced playwrights.
Yeah. And so it's about a Chinese basketball team. It's about an American who comes over to teach a Chinese because they love basketball, how to be a coach. And he basically says, I'll come back when you have players that are 6'2". And of course, he does get to come back 18 years later, but on the midst of like Tiananmen Square. So there's a social aspect to it as well, and really how the Chinese change from the Cultural Revolution through Tiananmen Square. Secondly, we're doing Anna in the Tropics.
Of course, Pulitzer Prize-winning play.
I love
Neela
that
Cruz.
play. Yeah, Elena Aras is directing it, and I'm excited because I think that play, there's a certain passion with that play, an excitement, a seductiveness that I haven't seen in the productions that I've seen, and I think that we're going to really go back to the core of that play, which is like really exciting.
All right, we have to talk about some of the productions that started at Barrington Stage that moved to Broadway.
Okay.
Starting with Spelling Bee.
Spelling Bee, the 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee.
Also a very long title. That's
Yeah,
our thing today. Yes.
Bill Finn came to me and he called me, and we knew each other, and he called me and said, I have an idea for a new musical. And I said, great. And he goes, it's a spelling bee. Wendy Wasserstein had told him about this. Her babysitter was in this production off Broadway, somewhere like around Delancey Street. And he said, it's really great. And I said, well, let's make an appointment. He says, well, I've written 2.5 songs. And like, let's make, Bill, like, let's make an appointment. Like next week. He goes, how about now? And I said, okay, this is great. So he came over, we both live on the West Side. He came over and he played the songs, 2.5 songs, and I knew it. I just knew it was funny, it was exciting. I said, okay, we'll do it. And so he said, okay, can we do it in January? This was November. Okay, can we do it in January?
I guess the lesson is be a little pushy if you want to get produced.
Well, yeah, and I think the lesson for me is to say yes.
Yeah, just say yes. Just say yes to brilliance.
Yes, why not? Yes. So I said, oh, okay, I'm going to Japan in January. And he said, well, can we work it out anyway? And so we ended up doing it like mid-January to mid-February. And I had someone else take over the first 2 weeks. And by the time I got back, it was rolling. It was great. And so we did it in the middle of the winter. I mean, with this fabulous cast, most of who are still, Jesse Tyler Ferguson. I mean, just this unbelievable cast. And the cast says when I came back, it's like being here in The Shining.
Right.
It's like dark.
Because the Berkshires is just covered in snow.
Yes.
And there are no people.
They're in the middle of the winter.
In the winter.
In the middle of the winter, it's like icy roads, like black covered ice, and we were constantly pulling cars out of ditches. It's like, oh no,
Wonderful
so and so
memories.
got in this country road. Someone, and anyhow, it was but it was exciting because from the very first moment when we did it in this like 80-seat space, it was amazing. The audience loved it from the very beginning.
Let's go back to your history a little bit. So you grew up in Pennsylvania.
Yes.
Wonderful.
But we're really going back.
We're going to go back. We're going to go back.
Pennsylvania.
This is
Okay.
your
And
life.
This
because
is your
you've been a
life.
theater artist your whole career. This is what you've been doing since you were in like junior high school or something.
Probably
is that right?
fourth grade.
Fourth grade.
I think because I was the best reader in the class.
You can
no
read?
talent, I could read. In Easton, Pennsylvania, that qualified you for the stage.
And so what made you want to go into the theater?
Well, I don't really know. Well, I think what actually happened, I had 3 older brothers into sports. My father thought that theater was like a nice, lovely thing for young girls to do after school. Little
Everyone
did he
needs an
know.
activity, right?
Little did he know. But I wanted to direct, but there were no female directors then. There were no women directors. When I directed on Broadway, when I did EUBIE, I was the only woman at that time
Right.
working. And so I didn't have any role models. And I finally had graduated from college. I did a little work here, a little work there, directing. And she said, well, what do you want to do? I was out of school like 8-10 years. And I was working on a doctorate in classical Japanese theater. You know this, Beth?
Yes. She
Okay.
speaks Japanese.
Yes.
She reads Japanese.
Okay.
Yes.
And my professor said, what do you want to do? I said, well, I want to direct, but I don't know any women directors. I don't know who to go to. And she was very dramatic. Even though she was American, she talked like this because she'd been in England. And
Oh,
she said,
of course.
do you know how you become a director? I said, no, tell me. And she said, you say, I am a director. And then you go out and find a project that only you can do, that you own. And it was the best advice because she said, theater is a business.
Yeah.
And I mean, my head was in the stars about art and like theater and all this. And she was right. So I found the archival recording of Shuffle Along, and I took it first to the
The
Manhattan.
original Shuffle Along by EUBIE Blake.
Right. I took it to the Manhattan Theater Club, and the literary manager said, if you could wait till next year, I'd love to do it. But there is another review coming in with a fabulous black composer, Fats Waller. It was
We're
the
coming
same
full
year.
circle.
Is that funny? And so I said, okay, I think I can't wait because EUBIE's 96 years old. He's still alive. And this isn't, I don't think I can wait. So I went to a little off-Broadway theater called Theater Off Park. And we did it. And so we did it. Opening night was on his birthday, February 7th. And as the lights were going down, and for some reason, almost all the major critics were there because it was EUBIE's 96th birthday. The lights are going down, and EUBIE says, and now we're all the same color.
Wow.
And it was just so beautiful. And like, of course, it made page 6 and everything.
You need publicity. It's
Yeah, I
very
need page.
important.
Say, well, I'm just, this young girl who's doing this. So that was very exciting. And I just, so in a way, it is full circle coming back to Ain't Misbehavin'. They're great work. They're great artists. And this is the 100th anniversary of the Harlem Renaissance. Wow.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
2020. And there's something kind of, it's wonderful honoring the past, but looking forward. How do we make this all, in this crazy world we're living in, how do we honor the past by moving forward? Which is always something that I think about.
When you started Barrington Stage Company, it was in a school.
High school.
In a high school.
You remember that,
auditorium.
Beth.
I was there. In Sheffield, Massachusetts. Now you're in Pittsfield.
Yeah.
And what I love is that the mission of the company was to bring high quality theater to the Berkshires, but also to serve the community.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's why you had Spelling Bee in the middle of the winter, because there are locals there. People live there, of course, but then in
Yeah.
the summer it just swells with all the sort of second houses that people have.
Yeah, to me, it was a little too touristy in the summer, just tourists, and I really wanted to. Well, first of all, if you have a show that works, you can't extend it if you're in a school because you have like an 8-week, time that you
Right.
can do it. And I wanted a theater that was more year-round. I thought it was important. Pittsfield to me is more like New York. It's the most diverse community. It's a blue-collar community. Not that New York's a blue-collar, but you see more blue-collar workers as opposed to some of the fancier towns in the Berkshires. And we do a lot with the community. I just love, Pittsfield kind of has not a firm foundation because GE was there in the, up to the late 1980s. And they left, and they took 13,000 jobs with them, and the community collapsed.
Yeah.
So we came in and we said, how can we build it up again? And it's been exciting building something up. And now we bring 60,000 people into town. And
you
it
bring in
helps.
Broadway stars. You bring in Aaron Tveit and company. You bring in Elizabeth Stanley. You bring in all the Tony Asbeck.
Who just
of
got
course.
engaged. I heard you talking
yes,
about.
we
Did you already use that as one of your...
We did.
No,
It
good,
was.
good, good, yes.
We try to do an engagement whenever we can. We love
I
it.
like that.
Good news is good.
Yes, just go great.
But you bring up these really high quality actors and directors, and you've discovered some people along the way. And I love that. Of course, she's not going to give us any casting. We're like needling her. We're
I
like,
don't
who's
know.
Nellie
I'm
Forbes?
starting South Pacific casting in 2 weeks, so...
And you're directing it. Tell me about
I'm
your vision
directing
for
it.
South Pacific.
My vision for the season is it's easier. I think that I've done a lot of plays that have social issues and plays that deal with race, diversity, immigration, and so forth. And this season, I just want to have a season of joy. And
We
to
need
me,
it.
South Pacific has that underbelly. You've got to be carefully taught. We're not going to escape that in any work that I do. There's always going to be something there. But I think we just need a more joyful season. Ain't Misbehavin' is part of that. Even though it's part of our Harlem Renaissance, we can go there. But we can also, for our audience, I think, do something that's just a lot of fun. And so I think I'm leaning in that direction. I can't tell you that it's, the whole season.
Leaning toward joy.
Leaning toward joy. Should I tell you the last 2 shows?
Okay.
Okay, you ready?
I'm ready.
Stage
Are you
2?
ready?
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. The third show on our stage 2, which is the end of July, the beginning of August, is Chester Bailey, a play by Joe Dougherty, starring Reed Birney. I can tell you this, and his son Ephraim.
Oh,
And
wow.
it's a marvelous,
Tony winner,
marvelous
Reed Birney.
two-hander.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a fabulous play.
Just him and his son.
Yep.
Just the two
Yep.
of them.
And it deals with a young man after World War II who was severely injured, who won't face his reality. He won't face the injuries. And Reed Birney's character is a doctor who comes in, who's living his own fantasy world. And it's a fantasy versus reality. When should somebody face reality? And when should we, as we sometimes want to, live in our fantasy worlds?
Lean toward the joy, people.
Yeah, the joy and fantasy. And then the last one is a fabulous new musical, world premiere musical, directed and choreographed by Josh Bergasse, who is one of our associate artists, very dear to us, who did On the Town and Pirates of Penzance up there, etc. And it's a musical that he's doing with Mark St. Germain, Zoe Sarnak, and the Mexican folk dance company, the Capuli Dance Company. And it's a dance musical with no dialogue, only dance and music and song about Mexican migrants crossing the border.
I love that.
And we did the first 25 minutes of it. We got a grant to do it in December, and it was astounding. People just loved it. The dance can tell the story, we know that, but really seriously tell the story, the wants and needs and desires of these migrants. And so I'm very excited about that.
What a season. That's exciting. What's the first date we need to come up to the Berkshires?
The first date is the end of May. I think it's like May 22nd or 23rd for the great...
So go for Memorial Day and you'll be all
Great
set.
Leap. And yeah, it's actually the Tuesday after Memorial Day. or the Wednesday after Memorial Day. And then I think it's June 18th or 19th, South Pacific opens
Love that.
through September 6th. And then we have a play in the fall too, but that hasn't been announced yet.
To be announced.
Yes,
I know we've got
breaking news.
questions.
Yes,
so, Ryan, what are the
absolutely.
people online asking?
Yeah. So Leah would like to know. We were just sort of talking about this a little bit. When you are plotting out a new season, what do you take most into consideration? What people around want to see, the shows themselves, the people you'd like to work with. What's your leading inspiration?
Now, I could be funny and just say beds.
Right. You have to.
I mean,
Right, yeah.
we're
all
out
those
of
people-
town. No, so what we usually do is we do the musical first, and it's a little bit what people want to see, but I think I have to stay ahead of the curve. I think what I have to do is like figure out what we want to do as a company and how in a way we can lead our audience. For instance, when we did the premiere of American Son, we started a season. We usually do musicals, and that was obviously a very serious play. But I knew that what was happening in the community, they were interested in race, they were interested in what was happening. A lot of the African Americans in our community were complaining how the police were treating them and so forth. So I thought, okay, this is an important subject. We can have a discussion about this. So we started with American Son, but then I thought I have to do something light after that, and we did Pirates of Penzance with John Rando.
You have to balance.
Yeah, so it's a balance, but literally the musical is so big. We do West Side Story, and it's 26 people. Do we have enough rooms?
Where are they going to sleep?
Where are they all
yeah.
going to sleep? We used to be the only theater in Pittsfield. We had our any house we wanted or apartment that was available. And then Tanglewood started saying, oh, Pittsfield's not so bad. And Berkshire Theater Group said, oh, yeah, this housing is more reasonably
There's
priced.
a lot of culture out there and only so many places to sleep.
So it's not so reasonably priced anymore. But I always try to do also in our stage 2, I try to do social issue plays. I put them on the main stage sometime, like American Son. Depends. I have to guess, and sometimes I'm right and sometimes I'm wrong. Most of the time, thank God, I'm right. It's like, is this a bigger audience show or is this a smaller audience show? Do people want to stand outside afterwards and talk in the cafe, or are they going to go over to the hotel? Big hotel, main stage. You know,
Right.
and also the stage 2 is, of course, less. The prices are less, and so can I build my audience by getting people into that theater?
It's a business.
Yeah,
In case you didn't
absolutely.
catch that part.
Carol would like to know, in your opinion, what do you think have been the most influential musicals of the last 20 years?
Wow.
Oh my God!
Where to
That's a
begin?
heavy-duty one.
Carol, what are you doing to us?
Carol, well, it has to be Hamilton. I mean, to me, there's Hamilton, and then there's everything else. I mean, what that has done in storytelling and the music and casting is the most exciting thing in the world to me. I mean, I think then Manuel Miranda just broke new ground all over the place. I mean, there's that, and then there's everything else.
All right, let me
Right.
ask you a different question then. In the Barrington Stage history, which musical or show put you guys on the map?
Well, Spelling Bee did.
Spelling Bee.
Spelling Bee really did. I mean, their third year when Beth was there, we did Cabaret, which moved to Boston. Actually, it was
Yes.
very successful. Our third year, it moved to Boston.
And I
Had-
moved with it.
Yes.
To Boston. To the Hasty Pudding.
Yes, yeah, that was very exciting. It was just lots of fun. Like, oh wow, our third year. What? We just had a show move, so that was kind of exciting. Spelling Bee, and then the year after Spelling Bee, we did Follies, and that happens to be probably one of my all-time favorites. Donna McKechnie, Jeff McCarthy, Kim. I mean, we just had the most amazing cast, and Stephen Sondheim came up and saw it. He loved it, and it was just. It was a show that I was nervous about doing because of its reputation of being almost impossible to understand the ghosts in the beginning, you know, and I think we were able to make that clearer, or at least it seemed to me. And the review said that. I think that was very exciting too. But then the show that did move into New York, the production of Pirates of Penzance that John Rando and Josh Bergas did is still one of, I think, our audience's all-time favorites. And to make that
With
old...
Broadway names in it.
Yeah, Will Swenson.
Swenson, yeah.
Scarlett Stralin. Oh my God, it was just this unbelievable cast. And the audiences, it's the only time that I think I've seen, without a doubt, everyone leaving with a big smile on their face. And also introduced a lot of young people to the theater.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I think we have time for one
I think
quick
we have
one.
time. Yeah, exactly. Let's see. Tom would like to know, what is a production that you've never directed that you've always wanted to, and if you can, who would you like to star in it?
These are tough questions, you
Oh,
guys. People. All right, let's dream
Tom,
production.
you're fabulous. But
I mean, she has her own theater company. She can do whatever she wants.
yeah.
I mean, there is a board. There is a board. Okay.
But you know, my favorite playwrights, even though I do a lot of comedies and I do a lot of musicals, like Arthur Miller and Tennessee Williams, without a doubt. I mean, in Tennessee Williams plays tend to be bigger. And like I've always wanted to do Night of the Iguana. Do I have all those little kids in it? Do I not? What do I do? How am I getting the right people?
Where are they gonna sleep?
You know, yeah. Where are they going to sleep? And also, wait a second. For some of these plays, do we need to have, with their kids there? I mean, we need to have people taking care of the kids. The wranglers and so forth. I think that's one of them. What I've always wanted to do is Threepenny Opera.
Yes,
Threepenny Opera,
okay.
and every time I mention it to people, they go, "Oh, really? It's so ugly."
Except the people in this room, we're all like,
Or they'll go like, "In the summer, really?"
Yeah, in the summer.
Really? And that is. I mean, I could just live with that musical for months. And I actually one time I looked at all the different translations. I was getting ready to do it, and then someone on my board usually they're really wonderful. They're very supportive. And I mentioned it, the person said, "Oh, really?" Just like that. I went, "I'll postpone it." A couple of shows.
Keep watching this space. Julie, thank you for coming
My
by.
pleasure, Beth.
Thank you.
And thank you for giving me my start with my career.
My pleasure. See,
If you
didn't
ever
I
get
do
to
well?
thank your people, thank them. Thank them publicly.
Thank you.
And go to the Berkshires this summer. Go to Pittsfield, Massachusetts, and go to Barrington Stage Company. See South Pacific.
Yes.
Right.
See Ain't
Assembled
Misbehaving.
Parties,
See the
Ain't
Assembled
Misbehaving.
Parties. And in the Tropics. So much good stuff.
Great. I'll see you up there.
Good season. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
great.
going up there. Ryan, will you take us on out, please?
Please,
Thank
of course. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. We are live every single day here on Facebook. You can also listen to us wherever you listen to your podcasts. You just search the hashtag #Live@5, hit that subscribe button, and we'll be in your ear whenever you want it. Tune in tomorrow when we talk to Jared Grimes of A Soldier's Play.